Coming up on The Cut.
European leaders support Zelensky.
Protest on national park cuts.
And the 97th annual Oscars.
All of this and what it means coming up.
The Cut starts now.
Hello, I'm Tyler Abrams.
And I'm Andy Ruiz.
In the wake of the fiery Oval Office meeting between President Zelensky and President Trump, European leaders renewed their support for Ukraine's war effort. President Macron and UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer visited President Trump to reaffirm the need for military aid to continue being sent to Ukraine. Prime Minister Starmer's office also issued a statement that says Starmer, quote, retains unwavering support for Ukraine and is doing all he can to find a path forward to a lasting peace based on sovereignty and security for Ukraine, end quote. In addition, France Prime Minister François Bayrou praised President Zelensky as the honor of a Europe and for his refusal to, quote, bend in. And Ukraine's support for President Zelensky and his government remains strong as he remains open for a path towards peace.
Tensions between Canada and the U.S. continue to rise on the topic of international trade and tariffs, but also immigration. On February 3rd, in the early mornings, a group of 9 people were spotted on the border between Alberta and Montana about to enter Canada on foot. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police crew quickly intervened as a result of increased border presence. The 5,525 miles long border has been described as unguarded as a representation of the country's close friendship, but the rise of the Trump administration has altered the relationship. Even before Trump's presidency, he has accused Canada of allowing large numbers of unauthorized migrants to enter the U.S. and has threatened tariffs in order to bring it to a stop. Although the number of Canadian immigrants entering has been low, a new pattern emerges as asylum seekers flee north to Canada. Canadian authorities claim to be receiving more U.S. citizens arriving in the U.S. illegally and illegally. The immigration minister understands the reason for asylum seekers, yet, quote, we need to have a proper managed system at the border, end quote.
This past weekend, this famous cheer competition took a scary turn. Cut reporter Abby Jurek has more on the story. Abby?
Last weekend, the National Cheerleaders Association All-Star Championship in Dallas took a dark turn. Cheerleaders and families alike left the convention in a state of panic. On Saturday afternoon, the Dallas Police Department responded to an incident at the Kay Bailey Hutchinson Convention Center. The competition was stopped abruptly due to what sounded like gunshots. However, police concluded that no shooting had occurred. Rather, 2 people had gotten into a fight, which caused multiple poles to fall in the convention center. The loud, echoey noises led to outcry among everyone in the building as Dallas police say people, quote, rushed outside in a stampede. None were killed, but 10 people were taken to hospitals with injuries ranging from bruises to fractures, according to Dallas Fire Rescue spokesperson Jason Evans. The NCAA All-Star Championship estimated 58,000 people to be there last weekend. Police shut down the event for the remainder of Saturday, but it resumed safely on Sunday. For the Cut Network, I'm Abby Jurek.
Thank you, Abby. That is terrifying, and we hope all those injured have a speedy recovery. Massive wildfires are raging across the Carolinas as evacuation orders have been issued. Since this past Saturday, dozens of wildfires have burned across South Carolina. The largest, a brush fire that started in the Carolina forest, grew to over 1,600 acres by 5:30 p.m. However, by 7:30, some evacuees were allowed to return home after the fire became 30% contained, according to Horry County Fire Rescue. The containment was thanks to the rapid response of the South Carolina National Guard, which assisted the South Carolina Forestry Commission and the South Carolina Department of Natural Resources with wildfire containment within Horry County. Along with providing additional personnel, they also mobilized 2 Black Hawk helicopters, which can carry 600 gallons of water each. As first responders continue to battle the Carolina blazes, the eastern U.S. remains under increased fire risk.
Thousands of fans attended Extra Innings Fest in Tempe this weekend. Here with the story is Cut reporter Brayla Burkhalter. Brayla?
The Extra Innings Festival took place in Tempe last weekend with performances by Americana, indie, and country artists, drawing in thousands of fans. After a great first weekend of Innings Festival, Extra Innings took over Tempe Beach Park February 28th to March 1st, Fans were welcomed at noon that Friday, and the music excitement continued until 10:30 p.m. the following day. The Lumineers headlined on Friday, and on Saturday, Kings of Leon and Casey Musgraves took on one of the three stages. Megan Maroney and Wyatt Flores are other popular artists who performed their sets for the enthusiastic crowd. Thousands of locals and travelers attended the festival, ranging from all ages. Fans enjoyed the sunny weather and a mix of music, food, and other activities. Baseball fans could test out their skills in the batting cages around the festival grounds and at a speed pitch. There were other opportunities for photos and free merch at the various booths hosted by the festival sponsors, including Chase and Lyft. Next year's lineup has not yet been announced, but the festival plans to take place February 27th to the 28th. Fans now reminisce on the fun weekend and can look forward to another Extra Innings Festival in 2026. For the Cut Network, I'm Brayla Burkhalter.
Thank you, Brayla. That certainly looks like fun. Recent budget cuts at federal agencies lead to mass layoffs of national park and forest rangers. Almost 4,400 National Park and Forest Service employees were terminated on February 14th, and many were in the period of being hired. An early executive order has forced the agency to rebuke 2,000 seasonal and permanent job offers, as President Donald Trump has ordered a hiring freeze on all federal civilian positions. Arizona has taken a hard hit from these orders, as 10 million visitors annually flock to native national parks and spend an estimate $1.2 billion supporting 17,300 jobs. Saguaro National Park has announced closing its visitor centers once a week as a result of the layoffs and will adjust hours until further notice. Many employees and Arizona National Park fans share their disappointment as landmarks like the Grand Canyon are impacted.
The Oscars make their 97th appearance with many surprising wins by many actors. Co-reporter Angel Garcia has the rundown. Angel?
Thank you, Tyler. This past Sunday, the 97th annual Oscars was held at the Dolby Theater in Ovation, Hollywood. A ton happened that fateful day, so let's go over the good, the bad, and the gossip. Hosted by Conan O'Brien, this night was a memorable evening, bringing unbelievable talent and stars together. Starting off with a surprising yet entertaining moment between O'Brien and Adam Sandler on Sandler's outfit, rocking the blue jacket and basketball shorts. This was a remarkable night for Kieran Culkin, winning Best Supporting Actor in the film A Real Pain and celebrating with some McDonald's. Alongside Culkin, Zoe Saldana won Best Supporting Actress for her role in Emilia Perez. Adrian Brody, leading actor for the film The Brutalist, made history with his Best Actor acceptance speech being 5 minutes and 40 seconds, the longest speech in the Oscars history. Best Picture winner Anora beat out 9 other contenders for the Academy's top prize this year. Along with this, director of Anora, Sean Baker, won Best Director, thanking the Academy for recognizing a truly independent film. We can't forget to mention Best Actress winner Mikey Madison for her leading role in Anora. The film Anora set in stone as the film that won the most Oscars with 5 wins. Through tears, laughs, and awkward moments, the 97th annual Oscars was no doubt an unforgettable night that will remain in history forever. For the Cut Network, I'm Angel Garcia.
Thank you, Angel, and congratulations to the winners. Next up, sports anchor Celeste Riva has the update on what happened this week in sports. Celeste?
Thank you, Tyler. We had a week full of sports with updates from Jimmy Johnson's retirement to a devastating season-ending injury. Let's get into the sports news of the week. Fox Studio is going to look a little different this 2025 season. Jimmy Johnson announced his retirement from Fox Sports after 31 years of NFL coverage. He was there when NFL Sunday first came on air in 1994. Before returning to Fox Sports in 2002, he spent 5 years coaching the Miami Dolphins. He was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2020. Now, Johnson said, quote, "I've decided to retire from Fox. I'm going to miss it," end quote. Turning over to basketball, Dallas Mavericks' Kyrie Irving has torn his ACL in his left knee, ending his season. He sustained the injury on Monday night, late into the first quarter, against the Sacramento Kings. The Mavericks have now suffered the injuries of Irving and Anthony Davis, who left his only game with the team on February 8th due to an adductor strain. After Monday's loss, the Dallas Mavericks are now 32-30, 3.5 games ahead of the Phoenix Suns for the 10th seed in the Western Conference standings. Looking ahead, we have the Suns against the Dallas Mavericks Sunday night. Both teams needing to rack up wins in hopes of making the play-in tournament. That's all for this week's sports. For the Cut Network, I'm Celeste Rivas.
Thank you, Celeste. And while we're still on sports, the second round of the Florida Man Games are underway near St. Augustine, Florida, as this year's teams hope to prove themselves as the Florida Man. Yes, you heard that right. Last year, the inaugural Florida Man Games began in downtown St. Augustine as a way to poke fun at the state's reputation for local Floridians' newsworthy headlines. Hosted by Florida comedians John Wicks Robinson and Kevin Flynn, this year's games will feature competitions like Hurricane Party Prep, Grocery Aisle Brawl, and Human Beer Pong. 10 teams from across the Florida Peninsula will be competing, including last year's winning team, Hanky Spanky, who hopes to retain their snakeskin championship belt. And what do local Floridians think of the competition? Well, to Florida Man Games announcer Shea Durena, he said, quote, "It's exactly on brand the way I thought it would be," end quote.
You know, I was born in Florida.
Oh, really? Man, you really should have gone out and competed. I think you would have done well.
Thank you, Tyler. And that'll do it for this episode of the Cut Network.
Thank you for joining us, and don't forget to follow us on Instagram at @thecut_network and on X at @thecut_ASU.
Have a good night.